Hi, my name is Elena Kostreva, and on this channel we use art to heal. And this is a really great technique to take a photograph of your younger self and just draw or paint a portrait of yourself as a child.
Hey there, hi there, again. Before I start explaining how this art exercise is actually an art therapy technique to heal your inner child, I wanted to know if you enjoy the voiceovers I do with my YouTube channel, or if you prefer when I add music to art process videos and don't have to listen to my cringy voice. I would love to hear from you. Comment down below. And now, let's talk about trauma. So if you don't know already, I was found on the streets in Russia at age 3. While that was probably a traumatic event, I also experienced being an orphan, which is where the emotional abuse truly began. I was labeled mentally retarded by doctors and basically was told I was stupid so many times until I started to believe it myself. The thing about repetition is if you keep telling a child or anyone something, they will start ingraining it subconsciously into how they feel about themselves. So then it becomes a belief system ingrained in them from a projection. This can be a positive thing, like if you're teaching a child positive self-worth, but also is a very common negative tactic to belittle and make a child feel worthless. Now, I could probably bitch about this for a few hours, and I have to be honest, I'm still not done grieving what happened to me. As a child, I was told what to do constantly. Things happened to me and I never had a choice. And yes, as children, we often don't have a choice. But often, the parent lets us know what is going on and doesn't leave us stranded wondering, what the hell did I do to deserve this? The emotional abuse was so deep. At 7 years old, I was already contemplating death. And not in a cute way. Like, I wanted to die. I was abandoned when I only wanted a loving family. I was put in an orphanage when I really didn't want to be there. I was adopted and was never asked, do you want to be with this family? I mean, the trauma goes deep, and it doesn't stop at orphanages or foster care. And I have discussed this matter with other adoptees, and all of us agree that the adoption process itself is a trauma. For me, being adopted wasn't finding my forever family. It was getting the fuck out. I knew I had to get out, but being adopted was just another form of abuse. For me, it was continuously not having my emotions validated. So I was basically told I was born for other people, that my value lies in what other people say my value is, not in that I feel I have value. So I'll stop there. But in the last few weeks, I have noticed being so angry. And I know this isn't my own adult emotions, but I feel it in my body. And I've had to ask myself, why am I so angry all of a sudden? Because I didn't know. But once I started digging deeper into my own trauma, it made sense. My inner child was a pissed off little girl. And by digging into inner child work, I found out that the age of trauma I was in was 8 years old. That was the age when I was adopted. So recently, I have started to invest in myself with sound healing, as well as purchasing a book to start communicating with my wounded child by drawing or writing to her with my non-dominant hand. Essentially, what this does is it opens a conversation between yourself and your wounded child. If you are interested in this book, it's called Recovery of Your Inner Child. I might add a few photos of what has come through to me when doing the exercises in this book to give you an idea of what might show up for you. Granted, our experiences and stories are different. And I know I have been rambling, but let's say you have no idea what I'm talking about. An inner child? What the hell is that? I'll keep it short and sweet for you. Basically, when you have trauma, your feelings have never been validated. It is actually more comfortable for you to not listen to yourself and what is best for you than to abandon other people's needs. What this means is that you could be a codependent. You are more comfortable being in a relationship where you are taken for granted because that is what you have been taught. You have been taught your needs don't matter, that other people's needs are top priority, and yours, well, they don't fucking exist. The wounded child comes out in relationships, romantic, social interactions, jobs, whatever. So when you lash out, that is your inner child wanting to express their emotions that have been bottled up and pushed down. The first step to stop these lash outs is to connect with your inner child, who is hurt, afraid, and for me, very angry. This is another way you can start reparenting yourself by acknowledging the child within you that was never listened to, pushed aside, or avoided. I have to say, feeling anger when there were no triggers or fights was confusing. And I've actually had a hard time with recognizing feelings and validating those feelings in the past, which is why I was inspired to create a self-portrait of myself as a child. Specifically, a photo that expressed emotion or was in a place that was a trauma point to help me understand the emotion I was feeling inside. As soon as I only drew out or painted the facial features in this photograph, I saw it. The anger, determination, complete focus on hatred. By doing this exercise, I didn't heal my inner child, no. But I was mindful of what I and my inner child have been feeling with all that has happened to us. It helped to understand and finally take the step to start healing and recognizing the trauma and the effect it had on me, and still does to this day, which is why healing your inner child is so very important. And I have a challenge for you. Dig out a photograph of yourself as a child, it can be any age, and try drawing them out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Draw out the emotion you see or draw out an actual portrait. And what might be revealed is the wounding you experienced. And you can finally understand and start your healing process.